You are not a doll unless you wanna be. Welcome to Juneteenth, motherfucker! Didn't you know? It is time for my curse technique to come to full fruition. Domain expansion! Infinite Juneteenth! For one day. Hi. This is the glitvhbyte entertainment system, and we're about to rock your socks off. Sorry. I hit the blunt a little too hard. Today is our annual Juneteenth stream. We usually do it for 3 days because we were raised for Juneteenth to be multiple days, or at the very least for the celebration to start before the 19th. And we usually bring that tradition into our streams, but we have so much shit going on this month, what with Anthrocon soon, and us working on a visual novel for the Tatsukiri Game Jam, which will probably fail. We've had a lot to do, a lot on our plate, and we're really excited to, at the very least, do a 24-hour stream. Which we haven't done in a while, though our endurance typically is good for about 12 hours at least. I guess we'll see how it is, since we've only been streaming for like 6 to 8 hours at a time more recently. Mostly because we're on hiatus. If you don't know what Juneteenth is, well, let's do an icebreaker first, before I chatterbox your socks off. Especially because, let's face it, the stream just started. Like, there's so few people here right now. Of course, I definitely appreciate the real ones. Though I would assume that the real ones here at this time probably have some idea what Juneteenth is. We are late because of this image. I had to make this image. We'll go into it later. Honestly, I should wait till I have some friends in call before I disseminate my my propaganda. Although honestly, like, I can imagine us actually drawing this. Maybe next year. Maybe next year we'll draw this scene out. We're literally reading Jujutsu Kaisen before stream started as well. So that's also part of the reason why we're late. I have so much tea to spill. I'm gonna start with... I think we're supposed to start with like certain games. Let's see. We have like a schedule. We have a light schedule. I actually don't know when the Digital Circus is gonna premiere. I'm assuming it'll be like 2 or 3, so we have a couple of hours before we are up into that. We were thinking of jumping into the Sucker for Love demo immediately, but I don't feel like I want to do that right now. Actually, I want to pass some blows, so I think I'll throw on Arcus Chroma. The thing about our Juneteenth stream is usually we play a Sonic game and a bunch of Black developed games, and it's like, why a Sonic game? Sonic is just like really near and dear to our hearts. I mean, I guess in an autistic way, you could say that there is a specific oeuvre to the Black Sonic fan, but honestly, just having a long 3-day long, usually, subathon meant that there was a chance to play a game like Sonic Adventure all the way through, which was part of our childhood. And of course, there are certain characters that have been claimed by the Black community, like in the image that we created, that we assembled, I should say, with the power of graphic design. We have Piccolo there. Piccolo is not human. But Piccolo is Black according to the internet and Black people. Same thing with Knuckles. So we could get away with being like, well, I mean, Knuckles is there. We can play with Knuckles. But generally the focus of the Juneteenth stream is to highlight, you know, like the Black experience and uplift Black developers. There are some games we're playing that are not specifically on the list. Or it's not specifically on the schedule because it's sort of like not huge chunks of time we'd be playing them. At least that's what our thought process was. Oh, right. Hi, I'm Glitch. Nice to meet you if you've never met me before. Which would be insane. Ah, you know we were second screening a game when the fucking background music gets turned off. So actually, this is a perfect time to open into a conversation about the reality of not necessarily just being a Black game dev or a Black artist, but a marginalized artist in general, because there are so many great games that are like just not at their full potential and didn't get a lot of visibility. And that's part of the reason why we keep coming back to Arcus Chroma. I think that there's like this weird duality with the stuff where there's like Black made art that is very reflective of Blackness in a way that's like, oh, this thing is this project is definitely concerned with like a Black like scope or whatever, right? Like there's a game recently that came out that was about like stealing back like artifacts, like ancestral artifacts and stuff that was like stolen from Africa. It's like stealing it back, kind of like what Killmonger was talking about in fucking Black Panther. And it's like seeped in like a very specific context, and you know, you're like, ah, yes, this is something that is of a concern to racialized people, and so you're like, oh wow, this is like a Black game in that way. But there are so many games that like you would be really surprised because you would assume that something that is like overtly Black is made by Black people, and we've had both things happen where we thought a game was made by African Americans or people in the Black diaspora because of what the game was talking about and what the game's like aesthetics and like vibes were, and found out it was not made by Black people, and had the opposite thing of thinking a game wasn't necessarily like we did the colorblind thing where it's just like, well, I hadn't really thought about who made this game, and then it's like, oh, I hadn't really thought about it, and because of the whole default brain, I'm gonna assume that it was made by white people. Ew. And you come in and you run into a game and you're just like, oh, that's pretty cool. Black Voices in Gaming. Skimming down the Black Voices in Gaming page is always interesting because there's games that we know for sure because we know of the development cycle, we know about like people talking about it, like interviews and stuff like that. Like She Dreams Elsewhere is famously by a Black dev because it is like Earthbound but with Black people and talking in very much language that a dialect that you don't get to see in video games a lot. Like the conversations in She Dreams Elsewhere, I can only think of also coming up in like something like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and that's like a really fucking narrow scope. But maybe like Euphoria. That is all to say, there is like that moment of pride when it's just like, oh, I really, really like this thing, and it's like irrespective of like that one part of my identity that's supposed to reflect, and then I see it, and it's just like, oh, I get the best of both worlds. I get this cool thing. This is technically a reference to the dev's other game that's in production, that's like a boxing fighting game. Wow, I'm surprised I have so much to say. Just within my own brain meat. I didn't actually expect to be the one to stream. It was a last minute decision. This game is interesting because it doesn't have a jump button. It has like a dodge button. And it really changes the dynamic of how you fight. I guess I ended up talking about that that weird double feeling early. Cause it's a weird thing that sits in your chest, because like, say if we were talking about being queer, being trans, there's all these people who are like, oh, like, you know, don't make this thing your entire personality. And people will... There's a lot of things that are marked by queerness that are shorthand for this is a queer thing, right? Because there's a history there. But if you're into those things, does that mean it's your entire personality? Easy thing I could say for a small thing that's like this is like graffiti. For black people, obviously. And graffiti is also like a very urban thing. I mean, obviously, cave paintings, right? But the concept of art that is considered vandalism and how it exists because of the fucking existence of private property, and how like broken window theory shit, like outside of like wall murals, a lot of times graffiti is very much in places where either is very hard to reach by conventional means, so you're already technically doing something wrong by even going there, or it's somewhere where it's considered, where the area is considered broken and dilapidated, and people don't care enough that you're marking up the place, presumably. But graffiti is also one of the elements of hip-hop, so of course, like, it has a relation to black people. And, like, gay people have a relation to acting? So if you're an actor, that's like being gay? But if you made a story about how hard it is to be an actor, and how much it hurts, from your experience, does that immediately make it analogous to a queer one? Same thing for graffiti. And so, like, you know, it's a weird both ends against the middle sort of thing, because in one hand, you're like, I want to like a thing irregardless of my background. I mean, we're an otaku. Easy. And we actually started calling ourselves an otaku, and are leaning away from calling ourselves a weeb now. That's a new thing for us. Weird to swing back around. And so we had a lot of self-consciousness about, like, well, A, that, like, we even had to look specifically for black developed games. And it's like, well, I mean, like, I should just play what's fun, right? And this is always the thing about, like, how things by marginalized people are generally less seen. And so, like, certain things become, like, really popular, but oftentimes things languish in obscurity. And, you know, it's multi-level. Like, sometimes people don't have the resources, and that's often the case. But we've been doing this, this subathon, this weird stream for like, it's either 3 or it's either the 3rd or 4th year we've been doing it. And we've seen games that people have had to abandon development for because they could not feasibly spend time developing because they had to work because it wasn't panning out. And that happens to a lot of people, but disproportionately there's gonna be a lot of projects that are made by marginalized people that have a really short scope because they didn't have the resources or time to go farther. I really love this ninja character. Play it real good. Gunko is like would fit in the My Little Pony universe more than any other character in this game. Like, his personality is just like so wholesome. Hey Tanuki! I'll fight to keep my friends safe, but maybe after a nap. Like, come on. We actually asked one of our friends recently, do you think you'd know if a game you were playing was made by someone or someone's from your culture? Just by looking at it? And of course you want to say you think you do. But we all think we have this radar for like the core of things. But I guess backing up a little bit, I was mentioning how there's games that we played that like the developers couldn't finish, and this game is like one of them. The developer wanted to do more, and it seems like they'll probably return to this. The other game that we mentioned, the Botan game, hasn't released yet, but I'm sure that's supposed to be like, you know, a less ambitious project than this one. Though honestly, from our perspective, all this game really needs is like netcode or something, so you don't have to do Steam Play Together to play it with people. But that's expensive. And we've seen another fighting game made by actually a black non-binary person that also is like just sitting not as far developed as a developer would have liked. And I think one of the biggest things that held that game back too was not being able to play it as easily online with people, because for a fighting game, community is everything. Though we'll probably bring this game to Anthrocon or something. Gotta introduce it to more people. There's a lot of weird closed loops. I guess there is an opportunity to like show people that we know, I guess, and to covet more experiences to like be able to show people outside of just like being able to play on the internet. I mean, you know, there's tournaments and stuff, and those happen in flesh space. I mean, technically, they happen in the game as well. We have so much enthusiasm about a lot of the games that we play, and then, like, you know, indie development can take a really long time just because of the way that life is, and it all hangs on like a single or a small group of developers. So like certain games, like even they get finished, like just have really long development times just by the nature of like how they're being made. Like World of Horror was like being made for like 6 years or something. But of course we consider early access to be, I mean, in a lot of ways, a substantial release of a game, but maybe our expectations also have been watered down by the fact that, how do you put it, AAA games ship unfinished all the time, in way more offensive ways than a lot of indie games. Just my opinion. World of Horror is fucking awesome. Though Ambitions and Icarus, this is the Icarus Sun. This game is sauceful. Also, I'm trying to determine if y'all are dropping frames or if it's on my end. I am curious. I could be dropping frames. I'm not immune to it. Oh yeah, I gotta remember, this is a marathon, not a race. The stream, I mean. And we're definitely gonna head switch in this stream. So everything isn't on me. Maybe we're just more comfortable accepting a game for like its current state. Though we haven't always been like that. Fighting game rosters these days are fucking huge. So a lot of people are kind of like, what? This doesn't have like 20 something characters? What's wrong with you? I think the sweet spot is 8. I'd love more than 8, but 8 characters is solid. Fights the white hitboxer. Oh no! I'm fighting the mayonnaise version. I've been meaning to ask about that. How long can it take for a head switch? I'm curious. I mean, there's like ones that are almost instantaneous, but there's also like gradual ones. You know, like how a song fades from one song to another? That happens. Sometimes it's like a rubber band and we swing one way and then swing backwards. Or I guess that'll be a boomerang. I'm trying to remember the name of the fucking main character from that PS1 game, Medieval. That's what I'm thinking of. Playing this character. Ow, 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 ow. I was like, this does have jumps! Like Zelda has jumps. We definitely want to be someone who generates hype for this game in particular, because we love the art style and the characters, and we would be really curious about a story mode. We're definitely more of a casual when it comes to fighting games. We're not very good by, I think, a reasonable metric, but like we can hold our own in various ways. Not a pro, not a schmo. But we've always enjoyed, like... Well, I mean, we enjoy a lot of the elements, and it's not to say that people who are at the pro level don't care about lore or whatever. And lore and story and stuff are a lot more approachable, though. But maybe it's because we've had an aversion to practice. Drawing has been, has changed us in that way. Now I'm thinking of just like, oh yeah, that's another thing that I'm like, why we are not, why we don't like not just AI art, but like the art destination mentality, or rather the art as the finished product. We've heard a lot of people talking about how art is like also the process, and some people we really respect have said that, like Brandon Sanderson, and that like the finished product is actually just the receipt. That's a beautiful receipt, but the art is also like what you did. Oh, thanks for following, Dovermo. I'm about to die. Your life will be filled with happiness and sadness. And hopefully a few cookouts. Happy Juneteenth! Stuck with the poverty diet. Eat when you can and sleep when you're hungry till fiance gets here Monday. Oof. The poverty diet is not pretty. Sorry you have to endure that. Nosferatu is a very technical character. The world's greatest hero, Skellington saves the day again. I was thinking again about back of like, oh yeah, it shouldn't be that big a deal. I shouldn't even have to like. I should just play good games and not even worry about it. It's just like, if you do that, there's a lot of stuff you'll never run into because the world is oversaturated and there's so much art in it. Manta. The dev for this game is actually working, I think, on a team for another fighting game. So I'm glad they're getting work. Oh my god, this monster is so delicious. Makes me almost think of Blanca. And also that squid from Marvel vs. Capcom. Doritos and gummy bears go fucking hard though. I mean, I'm sorry that that's all you have to eat. But I think that flavor palette goes really hard. You probably didn't eat them literally at the same time. Sorry, my littleness is showing. I was like, ah, Doritos and gummy bears! Oh my gosh, so much punishing. Oh no. Oh! Oh no! You would think it would be completely unfair that there's no jump button in a situation like that, but the dodge button lets you get to the other side of the character, so you're not completely fucked over. Maybe I should do a fight and just start in the corner and see if I can get out. And Skeleton's pretty fierce. Oh, cherry slice. I'm reading back up on chat. Speaking of head switch, I mean to ask, no, read all that. Okay, interesting. The FGC, however, usually does not care about lore. FGC? What game is FGC? Meanwhile, Tekken has insane, massive lore. Tekken's lore is funny. Actually, we haven't been keeping up since for a little bit. I think the last game we knew the lore of was probably like Tekken 5, maybe Tekken 6. We're at Tekken 9, right? I forgot what fighting game community. I mean, I guess it's the difference between individuals and others. I guess it's kind of like how lore informs people's perceptions of characters, and that may inform who plays it or who is okay with playing what character. Like Axel and Street Fighter having an incestuous relationship definitely made people feel weird about playing Axel. So I wouldn't say lore doesn't matter at all. Okay, I'm in the corner. I have a few tools. And they weren't really putting the pressure on me though. Not that they need to, I'm about to fucking die. I do not know how to play this character. Meanwhile, Axel is just good. We've only played the demo to the newest Street Fighter before it was fully released, and as long as the game's been meaning to play, though, I guess we feel weird about playing like AAA full price for a fighting game, so it just hasn't been a priority. I guess there's all types of ways to interact with fighting games. And I don't think we've ever gotten so serious about fighting games that it really took the fun out of it necessarily. But it is about the mentality of how you go about it and like the people you play with that determines if you can enjoy it. Not necessarily whether you're good. But of course, no one enjoys, like, losing a whole bunch. Which is why I also like beat 'em ups. a lot of the same things apply. I lost again. And that is okay. I was a bricks and main in Pokken. Didn't do keep away and rush people down. I think that confused a lot of people. Oh, you were working against the archetype. That's really interesting. Hey Genesis, are you still watching? Did the frame drops? Did you ever figure out how, what was causing it? Use Blaziken and Lucario most of the time. It was funny to see people rage when they didn't even let them, when you don't even let them move. Wow. I like Pokken. When we did play it, at least. It's been forever. We never got to get really serious about it, or like the top amount of serious that we usually get about these sort of things.